can bet it won't be Donnie Allison. He has this one all wrapped up as he screams that Torino under the white flag. One more lap and he can go home. And here he is out of the fourth turn. He waves at the sun-scorched crowd and sails under the checkered flag, the winner of the Carolina 500. A battered car and a very weary driver head for victory lane.
So the relationship between them and the white flag means there's one lap for the leader, and it'll be all over. Donnie Allison, who played a waiting game all through the race, along with his brother Bobby, for most of the going. They were right together around 5th and 6th place, trading those places back and forth, although they're not teammates, remember. It was a mere coincidence. But now it is Donnie who has inherited this race in a sense, but has inherited by driving very soundly, very sensibly, and a very intelligent, strategic race. Buddy Baker there, who's won only 2 races in his 12 years in the NASCAR circuit, will not win this one. It's going to be Donnie Allison. One more turn to negotiate, and he's got it all wrapped up. Here he is, one of the prize of Hueytown, Alabama, coming to the checkered flag. Donnie Allison has won Firecracker 400.
Down to the line. Richard Petty trying to win the national championship. Remember, if he should have trouble in Bobble here, it would make the car running back in the 8th position. Car number 88 of Darrell Waltrip, the national champion. Last lap, going to turn number 2. There's your leader. It is Parsons in front. In second is Bobby Allison. Third is Cale Yarborough. Fourth is Richard Petty. This is for all the marbles now. In the final lap, there you see the interval over the front 5 cars, and now here are your 2 leaders. It is Benny Parsons in front, Bobby Allison in second, going to turn 3.
And Benny definitely pulled out some space on that back chute. This looks like it could be his race as they go through 3.
Cale. A congested turn 4 coming up. The last corner of the race with 5 machines in contention to win it all here. Parsons in front, Allison in second, Yarborough is third. There they are, out of the last turn and headed for the checkered flag. Chip Warren has it in hand. Who will it be? At the line to be $25,000. Richard, it's Benny Parsons. Allison second. Cale Yarborough finishes in third. In replay, low angle, see how quick and fast they came across that.
Parsons in front, Waltrip in second as they drive it out. White flag is out. To go. This is it. The crowd screaming. It is Benny Parsons in front. Darrell Waltrip trying to come for his 3rd win of this race. He's behind as they go to turn 2. Back straight away. Parsons holding Waltrip off. Here they go for turn 3. The last lap. $377,000. Dow tries to go low. Waltrip is finding the inside. He pulls up. He's inching along. They're into lap cars. Waltrip goes back to the outside. Parsons is blocking him at the line. Benny Parsons does it. Benny Parsons has upset the odds makers today. They said he couldn't do it.
When he went wheel to wheel with Waltrip for the last 12, 15 laps, side by side, back and forth in that great contest. Here he is out in front. The David Hitt prepared car. White flag is out. White flag is on the Ontario Motor Speedway. Benny Parsons is into his last lap as he goes into turn number 1. Meanwhile, that battle for second place continues to heat up. Bonnet and Yarborough bumping on each other as they go down that short straightaway to turn number 2. Out in front as we stay with Benny Parsons following around. Just a heartbeat away from winning this LA Times $205,000 race. There's your battle for second place. Cale Yarborough, Neil Bonnet, number 11 and 21 respectively.
And there we are. Neil Bonnet going down the inside of Cale Yarborough to try and take away second place.
Out of turn number 4, Benny Parsons gathers that car up, slides out toward the wall, coming down. There's the Doug Reichert crew for the Osculans, for Dale Earnhardt, hoping they have a national championship on this lap. They're running 5th overall. Coming to the stripe, checkered flag is out, and Benny Parsons concludes his work for MC Anderson with a win.
You can see the white flag is given to him.
Harry Kent, 41 years of age, Taylorville, North Carolina. Cale Yarborough, 41 years of age, from Pennsville, South Carolina, started. and Richard Petty, 44 years of age, from Randleman, North Carolina. They've all been on a lot of racetracks, a lot of times, under a lot of different conditions. The prize money breakdown's got to be close to $25,000, and here goes Yarborough!
He's going for it underneath, going into Trump Street. He's got underneath the carcass. Maybe Harry Gant can draft him again. He's in the slipstream right now, but Harry Gant come out of the slipstream because he's up at the top. The crowd is absolutely, and they're close to come to the finishing line. Keith.
It is Cale Yarborough winning his 4th firecracker. The 6th victory for him on the Daytona International Speedway.
When this one finally came to a finish, it was almost dark, and Yarborough was the man with his work cut out for him. He led Darrell Waltrip into the final lap. Waltrip tried him on the inside in turn 3, forcing Cale all the way to the wall, but at the same time costing the defending Grand National champion a couple of car lengths. From there, Yarborough was able to hold on to the checkered flag, but the action wasn't over. Waltrip pulled alongside in turn 1 and drove right into the side of Yarborough, though that didn't have exactly the desired effect. Waltrip ended up spinning into the grass, and Yarborough went on to victory lane, where he gave us this version.
That's Richard Petty. The white flag is out. They've only got 1 lap to go, but Richard Petty's car got very loose in the rear end. The back end went out. The tire smoke was there. And did you see it again? The same tire smoke. Honestly, it doesn't look to me now as if Richard Petty can catch him. He's just given him too much racetrack.
Cale Yarborough must be breathing a little easier right now. He saw that happening in his rear vision mirror as he comes around. He's coming around to turn number 4, and he will get the checkered flag. It doesn't look like Richard Petty's going to be able to do it today. Everybody standing, waving on Cale Yarborough, his 5th Southern 500 victory. The 2 closest to him.
That ran so well all day. It's a shame everybody couldn't be a winner, but Tim Richmond was the class of the show. He moved to the front several times today, and it was a great drive by Tim Richmond.
Tim Richmond not thwarted by 2 rain delays nor 39 other great drivers in this Light Cola 500. For Leslie Calloway and Charlie Harville in the pits and Buddy Baker alongside up top, I'm Ken Squire. And that's the story of the 1983 Light Cola 500 at the Pocono International Raceway.
From Pocono International Raceway, you have just seen the 1983 Light Cola 500 featuring the world's best NASCAR drivers. The Light Cola 500 was brought to you by Old Milwaukee Beer and Old Milwaukee Light, 2 of America's great tasting beers. It doesn't get any better than this. By STP, around the track, around the world. Depend on STP proven performance. And by Fram Filters and Autolite Spark Plugs.
Different driver to win this year, and the 5th different make of car to visit victory lane this year.
White flag is out. Harold Kinder has put the white flag on Rusty Wallace. Just a half a lap. He's on the back straightaway. Going in turn 3. He can almost smell the checkered flag from here.
Off the 4th corner, Rusty Wallace wins the Valleydale 500 and his first Winston Cup race ever. He already has...
Coming off turn 4. That's where you'd like to pass, and now traffic a factor with the white flag being displayed. 1 lap to go. Baudon's going to try to the outside, but he can't quite draw along with Rusty Wallace.
Heavy lap traffic in front of the lead 2 cars. There's Alan Kulwicki up there, but he will move to the inside, and Rusty Wallace will try to hold off Jeff Bodine as they run that final lap.
Off turn number 4 with race traffic ahead. Bodine will not likely have a chance to make a move, and it is Rusty Wallace taking the checkered flag here in Martinsville. The second win.
Here he comes in. The red light, the fuel light is on, indicating the car is just almost out of fuel. Coming in quickly. He's got a 20-second lead. White flag is out.
Labonte has not come past the start line yet. Still looking for Terry Labonte.
The fuel in. in, and Rusty is back out on the racetrack as we have a car. Harry Gant has blown an engine. A lot of smoke from that car in turn number 1. That's you can see it right there. Harry moved to the inside. Here is Rusty Wallace, and he has maintained the lead.
He has. Labonte just crossed the finish line as Rusty was exiting the pit, so Rusty has held on to the lead.
Can he hold off the last half lap? Labonte, there he is in car number 11, running in second spot. He's now close to, well, there is Wallace. You can see Harry Gant to the inside of the racetrack on the left side of your screen with a lot of smoke pouring from that engine. But Rusty Wallace, it appears, has successfully made a pit stop on the last lap for just a splash of fuel, got back out and maintained the lead, and is going to win his 3rd Winston Cup event of his career.
You know, I'm going to be very interested to hear from particularly Jerry Punch, who has seen so many of these Winston Cup races. Does he ever remember a winner stopping as he took the white flag going on to win the race?
It doesn't happen often. There is the Kodiak crew as they watch for their driver, Rusty Wallace, to move through the final corners of this race. Here he is off of corner number 7, and Rusty Wallace has won the Budweiser at the Glen. What a tremendous race we had here today.
So it's in the lap totally of Rusty Wallace now and his crew. White flag is out. Last lap is on for Wallace. Sideways in turn number 1. He's fun to watch.
Oh yeah, he knows he has it won, so he's taking it real careful through here. You saw him go sideways, one wheel off the ground. Standing straight up, sawing it. He's something.
That's his idea of conservative.
We call him Hyperman down in the pit area.
You call him Hyperman?
Yeah, he can't stand still. Even when you're talking to him, he can. If you can get that shot, he sits straight up in the race car. He's awesome.
Crowd on their feet and cheering for Rusty Wallace. St. Louis, Missouri driver for Pontiac and for the Raymond Beetle team. Comes around 8. In total control of this thing at the moment. Just praying that engine doesn't come unglued after the tremendous strain of running 119 laps, 311 miles around this tough old Riverside International Raceway. Alan Kowicki pulls on pit road toward the end here.
Well, one of the tough things that crew chief Barry Dotson on this car is my next door neighbor, and he's also Phil Parsons' next door neighbor on Lake Norman back North Carolina, so we're going to have a long week back in Denver, North Carolina.
Here's Rusty Wallace in for the final lap. Last time around for him as he streaks back toward the line. He's into turn 9, the final corner, and Rusty Wallace, the Missouri driver, will win here today. He's across taking the checkered flag is Wallace.
The white flag is being showed by Harold Kinder. Rusty Wallace has one more lap to go, and he'll have 3 victories in the last 4 road races in Winston Cup competition. But there is Terry Labonte, and he is not too far behind. Ricky Rudd continues to run 3rd. But Rusty, it seems to me, if he can hang this car on the racetrack and keep it straight, he's going to have another victory in his pocket.
I think he will. He was 1 second ahead of Terry Labonte when they came across the start-finish line, which meant that Labonte gained a little over a 1/3 of a second on him the last lap. But he just has 1 to go, and it's hard to make up a full second.
Rusty Wallace comes through corner number 8. He has the long backstretch and corner 9 ahead of him before the checkered flag. He's keeping ahead about the same distance ahead of Terry Labonte and of Ricky Rudd.
Well, he's got the worst of the racetrack out of his way. However, turn number 9 can be very tricky. He has to be careful not to get in there too fast and slide high. That's his biggest problem right now. He's coming up on Bobby Hillen. As he goes into that turn, he moves around Hillen with no problem at all, and he slows it down going into that turn, gets her right down on the inside, as we've seen him so many times today. Looks like he's got it made, Bob.
Rusty Wallace comes out of corner number 9 in the Kodiak Pontiac, slips just a little, but he's got the race won. He crosses the line, and Rusty Wallace wins. Terry Labonte is second, followed by Ricky Rudd. Dale Earnhardt.
It's down, and we're in the last lap. Going into turn number 1 for Rusty Wallace. His heart is probably beating at a rate that couldn't be captured on any kind of an EKG.
Boy, he's saying a prayer, please give me enough fuel just to go down this back stretch and accelerate off of turn 4.
Elliott closing in. Elliott moving up another car length. It has been a wonderful race. Only one small incident. That was when Dale Jarrett spun in turn number 3. We've only had 4 cautions and some mechanical failures. Here they come for 3 and 4. Driving for the finish. Down they come. Elliott trying to pull up. Rusty Wallace staying in front, coming to the line. Rusty Wallace has defeated Bill Elliott.
Where he's going to make his move, and then he's going to probably honk Rusty Wallace as they come out of turn 2. Let's keep our eyes on this race to the finish as they head for the checkered flag, Hill.
Well, he stood on it that time. You could see him move up visibly closer going into the first corner. But Rusty now driving with a rearview mirror. Notice him cut down, not allowing Darrell a lane to get around. This time Darrell's going high over in the third turn. Rusty goes high to block his path. Bill, take him to the finish.
He was very loose through turn 4, fishtailing the car. He comes to the stripe, and Darrell Waltrip makes a move. Darrell actually bumped the rear bumper on the Rusty Wallace car as they came to the checkered flag. Rusty Wallace has won the 29th annual Oakwood.
Because Jeff really was the leader when the caution came out. White flag this time by. Final lap. Can Jeff Bodine catch Rusty Wallace? And he nudges him in turns 1 and 2. Wallace a little bit out of shape. Bodine back on the inside. They are door to door. Down for the white flag. Final time. Here's Wallace back on the inside. And he nudges Jeff Bodine in turns 3 and 4. The crowd on their feet. It will be Rusty Wallace will win it here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. I mean, they are on their feet, ladies and gentlemen, for an outstanding finish.
And at the end of the year, we'll have earned it definitely.
The white flag is out from Harold Kinder, and Rusty Wallace now has less than a lap to go before winning the AC Delco 500 here at Rockingham. The car comes out of corner number 2 down the backstretch, staying behind the third-place car, number 11 of Terry Labonte. Into third and fourth corners for the final time. Rusty keeps the car low on the racetrack. Off of corner number 4. Here comes the checkered flag, and Rusty Wallace has won here at Rockingham.
And what a day it was for him. I'll tell you, it's just unbelievable.
Apparently is going to win the Winston Cup for 1988. Bill right now is in 11th position. And remember, he needed to finish 18th or better to win the race, or rather win the Cup, regardless of what Rusty Wallace did. And it is going to come down to that situation. Rusty Wallace from Fenton, Missouri is about to win the Atlanta Journal 500. Here he comes off of corner number 4, and Rusty Wallace wins race number 6 of 1988, the final one of the year. It's a celebration in the Kodiak for this race with a record-breaking speed. Here's the white flag. We got one more lap to go, and look at the battle for second spot. It is Dale Earnhardt on the inside in the black number 3, and Alan Kulwicki on the high side in the multicolored number 7. Here they come off of the second corner. The battle for second place rages on. Earnhardt is trying desperately to hold off Alan Kulwicki. Points very valuable here. Kulwicki, however, moves to the inside in turn number 4. Here comes Rusty Wallace. He wins the Goodrich 500, and second place goes to Alan Kulwicki by a bumper.
And white flag. 1 lap to go. 1 to go. Oh, headed in 2. Here's Kulwicki still making up ground, still closing. Out of turn 2 into the back straightaway. 5-car length advantage belongs to Wallace. Here comes Kulwicki charging at the end. He picked up 3 car lengths down the straightaway in the backside, but at the line, Rusty Wallace records his second.
They'll come down this time for the white lap. Rusty Wallace leads with 1 more lap to go. Darrell Waltrip trying to wrestle the lead from him. He sneaks up on Rusty Wallace, but it appears as if Rusty may have enough to go the distance. Into turn number 3, here they come for the checkered flag. It's going to be Rusty Wallace winning the Valleydale 500. Darrell Waltrip finishes in second position. Jeff Bodine is going to hold on to third. Oh, it's a tight battle between Jeff Bodine and Dick Trickle and the 28 car of Davey Allison.
There was a photo finish between Allison and the 84 car. 28 might have had it. That would be Davey Allison might have had the 84 car.
In the lead and appears to be headed for his 4th road course win in his career. Rusty Wallace, who started this race from way back in
the 14th position.
14th, right. You can see the yellow flags being displayed by the corner workers, and this
area of the racetrack where Jeff Bodine crashed.
And there's a white and yellow being given to him at the start-finish line. So they'll race back to the flag.
The race will officially end under yellow, as Mark Martin there is in second position following Rusty, and then will come Dale Earnhardt in third position. But here is Rusty Wallace. He finished second at Sears Point on the road course earlier this year. He comes out of corner number 7. He takes the checkered flag, and he wins the Budweiser at the Glen. Rusty Wallace has won. Mark Martin finishes second. Dale Earnhardt is third. Harold Kinder. Here it is. One more lap to go for Rusty Wallace. He's looking for his 15th career Winston Cup race win, and his second at Michigan International.
And his 5th of the year. He would take over the lead in wins this year on the Winston Cup circuit. He and Darrell Waltrip were tied at 4 each, but Rusty would go ahead 5-4.
Now midway down the backstretch, into turn number 3. Rusty Wallace, originally from Fenton, Missouri, St. Louis area, brings the car off of corner number 4. Here is the checkered flag, and Rusty Wallace has won the champion Spark Plug 400.
Laps running out and the fuel running out.
I think Harry Gann has moved up to 3rd place now, so it'd be interesting to see as these cars fall out.
White flag is down. Final lap. It could be my kingdom for a thimble of gas, or it could be all. Down for the finish.
27's out of gas.
27 is running out of gas. Going into turn 3. Wallace is slowing down. Wallace is into 4. He's coming out of turn 4. The man in second is Earnhardt. Earnhardt trying to close. Coming to the line. Number 27 wins it.
Harry Gann is out of gas on the backstretch.
Harry Gann is out of gas on the backstretch.
The break, and on the outside, Wallace makes his move. Here comes Bill Elliott right with him, and Mark Martin stays with him. Those two Fords locking up to go after the Pontiac. The last lap for all of it, and Martin comes to the inside. Elliott does not let him through.
Don't forget, we've got to contend with this 3rd and 4th turn, which might be the least bit slippery.
Back straightaway.
Particularly down low, because that's where the oil was, which is where
Wallace in front. Here comes Elliott, charging. Wallace fading high. Bill Elliott down to the inside. Last lap, last turn to the side, the 600. Coming to the stripe. And for the first time in his career, Rusty Wallace has won. Rusty Wallace has won the 600.
Out of the last 7. Here comes the pace car.
Ricky Rudd says, I bet I can beat those guys to the line.
Rusty Wallace wins the Banquet Frozen Foods 300 under caution. Rusty Wallace from Fenton, Missouri adds another. See if he can get the job done. The white comes out. Ernie Irvan leads the last lap. Let's see if Jimmy Spencer can get the job done here on the final circuit of this event. He heads up high on the racetrack once again with a lot of momentum build-up.
Yep, he's making Ernie protect that low side of the racetrack. He's going to have some momentum when he comes off this turn, Bob. He's going to have enough to move up the side of him, I believe.
And he makes a move to the inside at the halfway point down the backstretch, and he gets the lead. Or at least he gets an advantage on Earnhardt. They touch coming down the backstretch.
That's Ernie. Earnhardt. Side by side, here they come for the checkered flag.
Will it be Ernie Irvan on top or Jimmy Spencer on the low side? Off of corner number 4. Here they come. It's going to be a drag race to the checkered flag. Jimmy Spencer wins it. Oh, baby. How about that? Jimmy Spencer becomes the 3rd first-time winner in 1994.
Flag is out. 1 to go. Jimmy Spencer bears down. Bill Elliott comes after him. Here comes Schrader looking high. Don't think he has time enough now. It's between the Junior Johnson cars, Ned.
Yeah, Ernie Irvan went a little high there, lost some distance between the two front runners. Now he's going to have to fend off King Schrader. Here comes Elliott trying to move down on the inside. Now he goes to the outside as Spencer blocks him off there, goes high and blocks him off up there.
What they need is a 3rd dancing partner.
Elliott needs a little help.
to be able to get by, but he doesn't have any help.
Elliott,
everybody's pretty much on their own.
We'll take one more shot for sure in this trioval. Here he comes, up to the outside, guns it for the inside. Here we come for the finish. Coming to the stripe, it's Spencer. Jimmy Spencer has just won his second restrictor plate super speedway.
Move over. Coming to the white flag.
Biggest race of your life, bud. Drive the hell out of it. Come on.
1 lap to go to win the Brickyard 400. Menard dealing with lap traffic. Gordon trying to close in turn 1. Menard is cleared out. Gordon's got to deal with the traffic. He's got enough fuel. That might be enough now, yes. Looks good so far. This is going to be the biggest day of Paul Menard's life. But does he have enough fuel to get to the finish? Gordon clear of traffic. Setting up for the finish. Final corners.
Good corner here.
Such a long racing history at Indianapolis. They'll kick